Hello, everyone, and welcome to In the Trenches, Kroll's weekly cyber threat intelligence briefing. Today is the 7th of April, and my name is George Glass, an Associate Managing Director in the Cyber Threat Intelligence team. Joining me today from the TI team is Mukesh Nagar, Dave Truman, and Sarah Carrigan. As always, we'll be covering the most recent trends our threat intelligence team is concentrating on. And without further ado, let's get into the situational report. Kroll has previously reported on the growing scale of DPRK IT worker fraud, where the US was a key focus, and some Southeast Asian countries also seeing fraudulent activity. It has since been reported that an increase in active operations in Europe has been observed, a notable expansion since the beginning in 2024. The risk highlighted during the campaign emphasized that the continued need for thorough vetting and security measures for remote workers, in particular those in IT positions. It's a very interesting campaign that continues to make the headlines, certainly one to add to your risk register there. Next up, an increase in Palo Alto network scanning has been reported. Greynoise has reported a significant spike in login scanning targeting Palo Alto PAN-OS GlobalProtect portals. It notes that over the last 30 days, 24,000 unique IP addresses have attempted to access these portals, which could indicate the emergence of new vulnerabilities in the future. Based on the patterns they have observed in the past, it is recommended for Palo Alto administrators to ensure patching levels are up to date on GlobalProtect portals and heightened vigilance for new vulnerabilities that may emerge. It's also recommended to seek guidance from Palo Alto on the best practice guidelines when it comes to security measures. Certainly one that we'll be keeping an eye on as well. Remember, if you have any questions or comments, please get in touch with us using cti@kroll.com. So in the rest of today's briefing, I will be discussing reports of an ongoing campaign to compromise ScreenConnect admins. Mukesh will be covering the morphing Meerkat Phishing-As-A-Service. Dave has a report on the toolset used by China Nexus Group Alux, and Sarah will be talking about Dragon Force taking over Ransom Hub in this week's Ransomware Roundup. So let's talk about this ScreenConnect phishing campaign. A threat actor known as STAC 4365, which we track as KTAC 009, has been running a phishing campaign targeting ScreenConnect admins since at least 2022, according to Sophos. The group has been observed by Sophos to deploy QILIN or QILIN ransomware after gaining initial access via compromising a third-party MSP that uses ScreenConnect. The QILIN ransomware affiliates have been compromising MSPs through well-crafted phishing emails, spoofing ScreenConnect login alerts, using adversary-in-the-middle phishing sites built with Evil Nginx 2. They bypass MFA to steal super admin credentials for the ScreenConnect cloud portal. According to Sophos, the phishing campaign has been ongoing for years, at least since 2022, using similar domains such as those you can see on the screen there. Lots of variations of those. Once inside, the threat actors were seen using the admin privileges to deploy additional ScreenConnect agents across MSP-managed networks to establish persistent remote access. That's followed by credential harvesting, lateral movement, data exfil, and of course, the deployment of QILIN or QILIN ransomware. Kroll's observed similar but distinct campaigns leveraging ScreenConnect as an initial attack vector. ScreenConnect and other remote management tools are, of course, an ideal target for attackers, which many MSPs and IT support services leverage to deliver their services, and so it makes an efficient vector to perform a supply chain one-to-many attack. In 2024, Kroll responsibly disclosed two vulnerabilities in ScreenConnect. That's CVE 2024-1708 and 1709. But after the patch was reversed, it was quickly leveraged by multiple threat actors in less than 48 hours after a fix was available. So again, it's really important to audit the access via remote management software following the principle of least privilege. Restrict admin logins to manage devices or specific IP ranges using conditional access policies, and implement phishing-resistant MFA such as FIDO2 hardware tokens or certificate-based device-bound authentication mechanisms. And with that, I will hand over to Mukesh to talk about the Phishing-As-A-Service. Over to you, Mukesh.
Thank you, George, and hello, everyone. So researchers over at Infoblox have identified a phishing-as-a-service operation, which they have called Morphine Meerkat. Now, Morphine Meerkat is built to serve tailored phishing pages based on the mail exchange, so MX, record of the victim's email domain. This is done by querying DNS over HTTPS or DOH resolvers. These can be Cloudflare's or Google DNS. The phishing kit receives the MX records in real time, determines the victim's email providers, and dynamically serves a spoofed login page, thus allowing the phishing content to closely resemble legitimate branding and increases the likelihood of a successful credential theft. Now, Morphine Meerkat represents a notable leap in phishing kit sophistication. Its use of DNS MX record inspections for dynamic content loading highlights a shift towards the DNS layer exploitation in phishing attacks. The inclusion of DOH encryption for these DNS queries ensures C2-like communications remains hidden from traditional security controls. The consistent use of domains, spam infrastructure, and phishing templates across campaigns indicates centralized development and coordination. The platform is accessible to low-skilled attackers who can launch targeted phishing campaigns with high success potential. The modular nature and account adaptability makes it very difficult to attribute to a single actor or campaign. Now, what we do recommend is for users to monitor for suspicious use of DNS over HTTPS traffic, especially outbound queries to uncommon DOH resolvers. Administrators should also look into blocking access to known phishing domains and suspicious subdomains, as well as implementing DNS security tools that inspects encrypted DNS queries. And lastly, but most importantly, educate end users about phishing pages mimicking popular services, especially those related to crypto and email. That's all from me. Back to you, George.
Thank you very much, Mukesh. And now we go over to Dave to talk about Alux. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Trend Micro detailed the toolset used by Chinese-speaking threat group KTA441, aka Earth Alux. The group focuses on cyber espionage attacks against government, technology, logistics, telecoms, IT services, and retail sectors. For initial access, the group exploits vulnerable services to deploy web shells such as Godzilla. Alongside the widely documented Cobalt Strike beacon, the group has been observed using 6 other malware tools. Mass QLoader is a loader that uses a substitution cipher to decrypt its payload. This malware attempts to hide itself from security tools by unhooking the Windows API function hooks by copying the ntdll.dll from disk over the in-memory version. RSB Inject is an alternative loader used by the group. RSB Inject is written in Rust and is a command line based loader, accepting shellcode either as a hex string command line parameter or as a separate file. This loader may be a repurposed shellcode testing utility. Vargit is a primary backdoor of the group. The feature set includes the following capabilities: system information collection, interaction with Windows Defender, process information, file system interaction, executing command line commands, and executing other malware via process injection. Vargit has an interesting multi-channel command and control system with both forward and reverse options for TCP, UDP, HTTP protocols, alongside ICMP, DNS, SMB, web, and Outlook channels. In the compromise observed by Trend Micro, the Outlook channel was predominantly used. The Outlook channel uses Microsoft's Graph API to create messages in the Outlook Drafts folder for passing C2. Railload is a his main purpose is to load Vargit, uses DLL sideloading of the executable esfui.exe renamed as fontdrvhost.exe with the malware hidden inside userinv.dll. Railsetter is a persistence installer and time stomping utility. Its main function consists of copying rail load into the target directory, time stomping the rail load's create, access, and modified times, and creating a scheduled task. KTA 441 uses both bespoke and widely used tools to achieve its aims. The multi-channel approach of Vargit's malware in particular highlights the group's flexibility. Since the group uses vulnerabilities as initial access methods, a thorough patching regime is vital. Alongside this, defense in depth with user training, perimeter protections, and host-based detections is highly recommended. Thank you. George?
Thank you very much, Dave. And now we go over to Sarah for this week's Ransomware Roundup.
Thanks, George. So we have a story about DragonForce today. They're claiming to be taking over Ransom Hub's infrastructure, and they announced the news via the dark web forum Ramp and DragonForce's data leak site. So it's not clear if this is a joint effort between DragonForce and Ransom Hub, or it's more of a compromise situation with them. Since Ransom Hub's data lake site has been offline, and this is since the end of March, there are new data leak sites, the onion URLs popping up. But on April 2nd, the operator of DragonForce posted on Ramp that Ransom Hub will be up soon and that the group has decided to move to DragonForce's infrastructure. So then in this post, they also included 2 new onion links. So while we were doing the research and reporting on these claims, the admin of Ransom Hub has not commented on what's going on with this yet. So we're still monitoring just to see if we can confirm any of these claims or if it was a compromised situation. But there are rumors swirling on Ramp because another threat actor did state that Ransom Hub has been compromised. So there isn't confirmation of this yet, but we are keeping up with it just to see what else unfolds. That's all from me, George.
Thank you very much, Sarah. And that's all we have time for this week. Thank you also to Mukesh and Dave for presenting. Remember, if you have any questions or comments, please do reach out to us using cti@kroll.com. Have a wonderful day.